Please feel free. Susie.
Hey, Micah, and everyone
Hey.
else. A little wriggle.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Mm. I was I was going to ask you about your experience, and I guess it comes from my experience. And yeah, I guess not recently there's been some um, seeing of some really deep or old patterning from like as long as I can remember in my life, and the depth to that seeing is like, oh. um, and I guess I guess like the question is around your experience of, I don't know how to describe it, that tipping point or that transition to I think, like, it's it was a life that was lived this way with these filters, and then there's a seeing, and then a ongoing process of, going back and back and back. And I guess I just wanted to ask, from your experience, whether it felt like there was a tipping point at some stage where that being in that space became the 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 bigger, or the more common way that you then lived your were living life from, if that makes sense. And whether also that process of seeing deeper and deeper and deeper, I guess it's just felt very intense. The intensity feels quite like a little ramped up. I don't know how else to say. And I just also wanted to ask, from your experience, whether that was a similar unfolding or
Definitely. And still unfolding, Susie. It doesn't seem like that this unfolding has an end. I mean, it doesn't, who knows, maybe it does, but that's not my experience. Anyway, but I hear another question under the question of what's my experience.
I see.
Let me just see if that is true. But what I'm hearing is, do you know that your camera does that zooming in and out?
I don't know why.
Oh, it's quite amazing. It's like, I'm just asking if that's another question I had.
I think
Anyway,
it's just a very new iPad that has some particular abilities.
Yes, no worries. What I'm actually also hearing is the question: does it ever stop to be that intense?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, and that shift, I guess, from kind of living in that space where it is the filters of the mind, etc. And then as that kind of is seen through, there's more living from that spaciousness, and there's like a tipping point or something where it's like, I don't know how else to.
It's in my experience, where it's come to now, I'm with all those learning, or whatever you want to call our journey, it's been it's like it doesn't matter so much where it is finding itself. If it's in intensity, or if it's in more blissfulness, or anything in between. So what has grown over time on this journey is the seeing that it actually doesn't matter. So, and that has created space. That has created space between that contracted being, so-called Meike, that, physical body thing, which, oh my God, sure, she could tell you stories. What she had to go through, and doesn't even know if from this lifetime or from others, or she's picking up all the sensations from the universe, or not even having a clue where all that intensity comes from, to, by grace, that's all I can say, by grace, the seeing of it, there is no choice in all of it. But that comes from, and that has come, again, by grace, by stepping out. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I can tell you about experiences, but how it happened that somehow the attachment to being this body-mind system only is not as radical as it has been, you know, when she was born. I don't know, when she was taught to believe that this is all that she is. So now there is she, you know, that conditioned bundle of Meike, with all the ups and downs and all history and all inherited stuff and new stuff coming on top of it. And there's at the same time that which is untouched. So, you know, and then it just does its dance. Sometimes it seems like, whoa, it's just her against the world. But at the same time, and that's the gift that has come. I don't know why and how, to be honest. It's nothing that I can put on my belt in a way. There is also the bigger picture. And then with that comes the compassion. This, oh my God. It's not up to that contracted bundle called Meike. It's not up to her. She never chose this, and she would never have chosen this. She is just doing what she knows to do in her absolute clumsy way. Sometimes it seems, you know, it's easy, and sometimes like, oh my God. But with that big seeing what has come and is growing and growing, oh gosh, and it touches deeply just by speaking it, is the the dropping of the judgment towards herself. That constant, you know, being on her own case, you know, like, should do it like this, should do it like this, don't know how to do it, oh God, I better not, you know, like this strange movie that plays through these systems. There is kind of, I mean, you know, how I would love to say it's all the time, the bigger picture, but who knows? Because you don't know when it's not. When the blind spot, when it's blind, you just don't know. But there is a lot of, it seems that most of the time there is the bigger picture. But again, who knows? So that's how it seems here, and that's how it's experienced here. And gosh, gratitude for all of it. Gratitude for all of this. Yeah. Don't know if that answers it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That seeing also, I mean, I can, you know, again, the experience here keeps it going. It's like, okay, you know, let's see what's next. Let's see what's around the next corner. I mean, shoot, not having a clue, sometimes freaked out, sometimes, okay, easy, just all of it, all of it, all of it. No choice, actually, in how it will show. There's just a knowing it is always doing its best. This system, there is a deep knowing it is doing its best all the time. And it falls over and it gets up again. into the wheel, and it spins. Yeah. I guess forever and ever, who knows? But then, you know, gosh, what a gift to even have to have this conversation, to have this exchange. Wow, someone from somewhere asking this. Wow, so that this gets spoken. So there again, wow, grace and gratitude. So actually, coming back to your first question, in my personal experience, wow, it's immensely growing. And even, looking back, it's like, wow, it's always been clear. But I mean, how many times it hasn't been clear? I do remember the times where the Meike system, the contracted Meike system, thought she was in charge of it all. Just that sense of I. It had a deep belief it was in charge of it all. And if it just could get it right, all will be wonderful. And man, did she struggle. Gosh, she made herself wrong. I mean, she tried everything. And until she was lucky enough to see that that was not true. And that changed. That was life-changing, actually. That was a life-changing experience. And from then, not that it wasn't intense anymore. It's still intense. Whew, it's so intense, this life. But the bigger picture is there. And that seems to grow.
Yeah, I can sense there's catching on a thought that's those patterns, or that system that just feels there's that there's no, that there's no way out of that, if that makes sense. Yep. Or if I could just get past this.
Yes.
Yeah, and also just not seeing that idea of freedom is possible. And I can sense it's it's kind of that identification with that sense of self.
Yes, and it does that when it really doesn't feel good, so for all of us, and it's like, oh my God, and it doesn't know where to go, then it comes up with those ideas, which makes totally sense. So yes, just this exchange gives it a breath. You can see it's gosh, it's okay. So it hasn't done anything wrong. It just is a natural response, when situations are so intense and difficult to deal with. It's looking for a place where can I rest, or where can that rest a moment and can get the next breath in peace.
Yeah, it's kind of just so radical as well, like just it's so simple and so radical, that shift of having lived, I mean, I don't know that I would call it living life, but a very painful existence, from a very young age. And it's so radical to step out of that and into that spaciousness. And I mean, sometimes the pull is still, catches.
Absolutely. When that pull catches, it's good to reach out to somebody, that knows. It's, because that pull into that contraction, let's say it like that, makes one feel absolutely alone and helpless. So if you can catch it just a little earlier
and reach out. I mean, it's definitely a pattern of not feeling like there was anywhere to reach.
It goes together, Susie. It goes together. When it goes very, very fast into that contraction of overwhelm, it can go in a split of a second. It's nearly impossible to reach out. It's nearly impossible. So it's like, the training or the practice of what is to really be able to learn how to slow that pattern down. It takes a lot of awareness and a lot of, in a way, effort even to, to guide a pattern into a different direction. So whenever you notice it goes that direction, if you can reach out to, you can reach out to me. I will not answer too much, but you just say help or whatever, and I will kiss you. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Sometimes it doesn't need much. It just needs. Is there anybody out there that understands this? It's like, just hi. I'm happy to exchange a few sentences. Absolutely. Yeah. So whenever, and then at one point, that's also my personal experience. I guess that was your question too. It is now, you never know what comes in next. But right now it is at a place where this system can regulate itself, whatever comes. It knows when to reach out, and it knows how, not to believe in stories. It knows what to do. So it can do it. And that was not always like that. So, and if my system can do it, every system can do it, I tell you that. So it takes that deep interest, and it is effort sometimes, even though we speak about no effort, but it needs that, I get onto that bike now, I'm getting onto that surfboard now, and even if I've dropped, if I fall off, I will get on again. So it is, needs that oomph.
A little bit of action.
Yeah.
There's just such a depth to the fear and the trying to control in various ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you're reporting on it. So there is also awareness of that.
Yeah.
And if that awareness, if that can go maybe one step even further into awareness where there's no judgment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, that so-called observer, or, that what sees is actually another part of the mind that judges badly, and that says, oh, I see clearly, but it's actually another layer of personality. So if that, if you can lean further into that place that does not judge, but also is not disembodied, that which is space and the heart at the same time.
It's I feel that very touching.
Beautiful how you receive my words. Yeah. So that which, come, there, come, I'm here. So it is spacious, but it is bodied spaciousness. Clumsy words.
Yeah.
It's not
I
out.
understand.
Yeah, I know you understand. It's so beautiful how you receive.
I think just sometimes it's such a deep shutting down of the system that it kind of gets into a very frightened,
yeah.
Existential. It's just like starting to shut down the systems. Yeah. So.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Susie. I know. Yeah. I wish I was always right there when that comes. Put my arm around it. I wish. I wish. But what we do have is this moment. So maybe that, whatever that is, feels that we are here for it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a deep sense of aloneness.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there we are.
Yeah.
You know, us again, Susie. How many lifetimes already? It's us. You and me and our beautiful friends here. I mean, yeah, here we are again and again, holding hands, kissing that aloneness as much as we can, giving it maybe a little sense of we're here. We are together in this, at least in this.
It's like you step outside your door, it's just woo, crazy.
Yeah, you don't know what's that's you don't know. You're still here, still showing up with all of it. Still even able to laugh about it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And keeping your arms around that aloneness. Keeping it close. So maybe for a moment it has peace. If it has that just for a split of a second, it's already very, very lucky. And then there comes the next bit. You know. Yeah. How is it right now?
It's there's still a few sensations, and I can see some thoughts kind of passing through, but there's there's a holding or there's a space within which those things are kind of okay.
I like that. That's wonderful. So something feels met.
Yeah. And I've got a family event on this evening, and I just thought I needed to check in with you and everyone, just to have there's a meeting that can happen that is a different meeting tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So with luck, you can be really, really gentle with yourself in that during that meeting. The more gentle, you know that, but I say it anyway, the more gentle you are here, the more it will be also received, and the response will be a different one. And otherwise, you just leave.
Yeah. I think it's just that, that sense of, when that attention is kind of very outward, and there's a lot of people and there's a lot happening, and there's not that attention, some of that attention inwards. It kind of gets out, and then it's just, so it's, just remembering to that gentleness and putting focus.
Far out. So that's pretty cool. So you know that, put a piece of paper, write it down, put a piece of paper in your pocket.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I find that very useful. The moment you've forgotten, and you don't feel well, when you feel something is weird, reach into your pocket and get that piece of paper out for you. Go to the toilet, or, just, somehow something jumped out. It's an automatic habit for most of us. So again, you can make it personal, but I don't know anybody who doesn't have that. So it's so quickly that it jumps out of its skin.
Yeah.
But it's also very quick to invite it back in. Yes. Wishing you a beautiful time with your family.
I wish I could take you all with me.
Yeah, maybe you can remember us, all of, take the field with you, take the field, if however it's possible, however. Yeah. Reach out in the middle of it if it's necessary, or, take all the help, or from all the beings, go in like that. All beings be with you that like to support.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful, isn't it? Thanks for that. That just came in. So that you have all the support. Beautiful meeting. Like we are having here.
It touches. in a very very hearty way.
Love and peace.
Thank you, Meike. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Esther. Thanks. Bettina.
Hi.
Hi. Alles ist gut?
Gut, jetzt gerade. Yeah, just want to say thank you, really thank you for this beautiful conversation with Susie. Wow, there's a lot true, but now it's also gone already.
Oh, fantastic.
And it can do its thing, I don't know, but
yeah, yeah. There's so much about that, you know, when it steps out a little bit out of the wheel that spins, that non-judgmental one, huh? that which has arms open. It's spacious, but at the same time it's embodied. It's so funny to say, but it's empty, but it's full at the same time.
yes.
The heart, the heart, the heart, the heart of the of the space, which is limitless. That's when peace comes home. When it steps out of that wheel and is not on its own case constantly, beating itself up. And even if that happens, you know, there's still warm, big, big, big heart. Mm. 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 Home. Funny. That's the words that come. The word that comes here. It's home. It's home.
And still there's this idea or this thought, it's connected on something, because when we started, it was already there. And when I am here in my daily life, there's somehow a searching for that. And it seems it is connected with the aroundment somehow, or with, yeah.
And right now?
Yeah, it's connected with you and the group.
That's all that counts.
Because other way around to say it is, the invitation is there from, feels like from outside. The invitation for that, the willingness to look.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems that way.
It seems at the moment.
Yes, it seems that way. Yeah.
And actually at the moment I know that's not true, but it seems like.
Yeah. It seems that, yeah. Yes. See, and you know, knowing that's not true is already stepping out of that wheel.
Yeah.
It's one tiny little step. Yeah. Makes the picture a little bigger. That's kind of, you know, we're on our way into the universe.
Yeah, and there in the last days there was the thought, I have to leave this place here, I have to go to people with people, they are on the same page or something like that. And then there was also that thought, it's not necessary, because that is everywhere. That's where I am, where I am.
So both of those thoughts are they in that wheel or
in that wheel?
In the wheel. Good. Far out.
Yeah.
Just seeing that. Yeah. It's something trying to get out of the wheel, actually.
Okay.
With these thoughts.
Yes.
Where's the exit? How do I get out of the situation?
Where's the point? I did it right.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's all belongs to the contracted sense of I that does not know how to deal with its situation, and it finds it unbearable. Yeah, just seeing that. Yeah, and there comes the breath. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just we're all wired.
Yes.
Yeah. All our systems do the same. Yeah. And right now we are lucky enough to really see it clearly. Oh, yeah, comes another. Very, very simple. And quite often it needs a space like this. I mean, the space like this is pretty awesome for this kind of seeing to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we come together, don't we? That's why we come here to slowly enter another space where it's not all just contracted and based on that I identity, that contracted identity. Yeah, and you can see just speaking that gives more space. Yeah. And then you can feel, my system feels like, oh, it starts to include more sensations, embodiment, whatever we want to call that. But it's more inclusive of livelihood. It starts streaming while it's breathing. It's not so much busy with getting away from here. It's like, oh, okay, here's actually not too bad. It's okay. It's okay here in this moment. This is pretty kind. Feels all right to include physicality. And then it also moves in kind of in other directions again. It's all noticed. It's healthy. That's just what it does. I mean, I call it healthy because that's what it does. We don't need to make it wrong. It's nearly like a settling, huh? It's something is settling.
It's doing its thing, now it comes, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay, yeah. Yeah. Which is also really beautiful. You know, we can, maybe we can say that's the gift of our field.
Yes.
Because it's, oh wow, it's okay to be here. It's okay to be in this field here. Even we're seeing each other only on screens, huh? And still a field is created.
Yes.
However that works, Yeah, it's working. Mm. Yeah. See, then it comes, yeah, it comes here. It comes into presence. Not so busy with getting away from here, actually. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
So welcome. Andrea.
Hey, Meike. Hey, everyone.
Guten Morgen.
Hmm. It's interesting. Something is still clinging to this image on the screen, even though everything is dissolving. I mean, it's I just wanted to say I do not even have to look at the screen anymore because everything is like one. Yeah.
okay like this? Or is there anything you would like to speak or
No, it just could hang out there forever, it feels. Yeah, and basically, I mean, if this has not already been transmitted, I just wanted to bring my appreciation of your being and what you bring.
Oh, thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, and yeah, in one of the last meetings, which I was listening to the recording to, I heard you say something like, even though it was with a sense of humor, like there's at least something I'm good for, and it left a little trace of, hey, this is so much. This is so much, and it's so precious, and your unique flavor of that it's so close to the humanness. That's
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you very much.
Kisses.
Kisses. Yeah, it's something really beautiful what you just brought in, and I know I'm saying that sometimes there's at least one is good for something, but it is like that, huh? Even, living this life and maybe having touched one other life. Wow, that's worth living for, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure you all know that in your own experience. It's wow, one being may be touched by your being around. Oh, wow. So thank you, Andrea.
Yeah. And hearing you saying that touches something inside of me that it somehow is huge and rare that we meet like that, because I witnessed it in my home with my son, who's somehow not found the entrance yet, and for someone where it's so clear yet already, it's yeah, hands off, trusting the whole ride.
Yeah, and the heartbreak of it at the same time.
Yeah. A sweet heartbreak, sweet pain. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Okay. I mute myself.
Yeah. Judith.
Hey, Meike.
Good morning.
Good evening. And the appreciation is here as well. Profound for your being.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
It is here.
Big gift, and a big honor.
And it is so precious to take part in this group with you. It's so precious for me. Really. Yeah. So let's see what it wants to show.
And it's actually also, I like to actually encourage everyone to maybe have a look of the gift that everyone is and the gift that everyone brings.
Yes, it is. It is. It is the appreciation really for the facilitation that you brings and the invitation of your whole being. And then we partake all together and creating this field together.
Absolutely.
But it is sometimes also so good to acknowledge what is also being invited to. So that's the dance, I would say.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know, and in that dance we also by each unique being, it's amplified in all kinds of colors and directions, like that.
Yes.
So the appreciation is also for the uniqueness of you, and then the uniqueness of each being participating here.
Absolutely.
Like that, yeah.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So, and here's actually also that paradox, in
Yes.
all one, but yet very unique. And I love again both at the same time. You know, that paradox.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Ah. Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Is she?
Hi, Meike.
Good morning.
Good morning. I've been crying so much during this meeting.
Oh, that makes me laugh. I don't know why.
It's a kind of tears of, yeah, of laugh, also of joy.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Been touched, huh?
Yeah,
Ah,
while you were speaking with Bettina, I just felt like my heart exploding. I was talking to God like, God, why don't you just take over?
ah,
I know you can. And
yeah.
I just, I just want to be here fully in you. And, and there's this longing, this immense longing. And it's always like this very calm voice comes and says like, look, it's not a happening. It's just relaxing into, it's already so. It's um it's not me taking over, it's just you relaxing into what is.
Yeah.
But somehow it's this longing uh I think I'm a bit addicted to it. And it's okay, it's very sweet and nothing wrong with it, nothing right with it also. It's a very, very sweet love and overpouring but I see that tears come, tears for God listening to me, and I was like, oh, hold me more, make me more one with you. But at some time, at some point, I would still go to bed and sleep. So it, and I also acknowledge the blind spot you pointed out when you were speaking to Susie, because it's easier for us to feel compassion and love towards others, towards the animals and the environment and people and everything. But then when it comes to the body and the sense of I, then usually there's a blind spot there, and some, I don't know, it's like ego's boss. It kicks in and starts judging. Oh, it shouldn't be like this. This is that's selfish, or that's not. And it's a very present thing to just look at this structure that kicks in from time to time and acknowledge what you said, to just really, no one's doing it. No one would choose to, keep punishing itself. And it's actually just the ego fighting itself. So, but that actually, this internal friction that happens between what is assessing the behavior and the behavior itself. It doesn't need another third thing to come. It's more just like allowing it to relax. It's okay. No one's doing, no one's choosing. And at the same time, love is taking care of it. It's not it's responsible. It's not irresponsible also. It's not absent. It's being held. But I do wish God uses me more and more. It's just, I can't find anything more meaningful than that.
Most beautiful wish ever. Huh?
I want it so bad. Sometimes I wonder if that wish is in between its fulfillment, but it's not on me, that's on God.
Also just an idea.
Yeah.
Just an idea. As far as I can see. Every thought, just an idea.
Yeah.
It's just so very lucky when it's quiet for a split of a second. And there it is. That godness all over, everywhere. Just for that, wow, split of a second when it's quiet. And it starts breathing. And it's present. Doesn't want anything, doesn't need anything. Just does what it does. And is in awe of itself.
It doesn't want anything. There's this one sentence I heard many times, that we all long to taste the honey, but few want to be the honey, which is, and more and more I'm starting to acknowledge what it means.
Are you the honey?
Like, no, you can taste it as much as you want. And long for it and look for it everywhere and make poems about it and write scriptures about it.
Yeah. That I that wants all those things and does all those things. So when that I is not there, what's then?
Yeah.
What happens when that I drops itself?
Then it's the honey river.
Mm. Yeah.
And home, as you said, home. But no one lives there.
Mm.
Or everyone lives there.
Yeah, it's, words, huh? Words.
Yeah.
Words.
Words.
Yeah. Mhm. It's just so lucky when that sense of I, that contracted sense of I, stops for a moment. However it does it. So, and after that, poetry comes, huh? And you can read Rumi or Hafiz, all these beautiful poets. Rilke, or, there's so much beautiful poetry, but it's always after that, that when it's like that, when there's not that sense of I, it just doesn't speak like it's more flow, isn't it? It's like flowing honey.
Yeah.
See, there again, always afterwards, then one comes up with trying to put it into words, which is kind of a bit of a movement away from it. But even there, no
Yes.
choice of that. No choice of that. It's just, it wants to live itself at the same time. And seemingly it does that by contracting a bit so that it gets a sense of this amazing miracle. I mean, like even Ramana, to say even Ramana, I don't even know him, but I feel a connection to whatever he means. Has been sitting, I don't know for how many years, just sitting, then walked from one cave to the other, kind of moved caves, but started sitting again, sitting under trees, sitting, and came back into movement. Kind of integrating, maybe that's just an idea, maybe integrating everything he had experienced and being, who knows where, here, I guess. So somehow it wants to live itself through these bodies, huh? But it's a bit dense. It's a bit dense in here, so you don't always feel the honey flow. For some of us, never feel it. And for some of us, we never feel the flow of honey. And there are some people out there that don't even know what we're talking about. So we are very, very, very lucky. So with the contracted sense of I, somewhere more dense than in other places, we have had experiences of flow, which is far out. So write your poetry, write it. Write about the longing of being here all the time and live it at the same time, no? Because that's, gosh, that's also an absolute amazing gift, having, I mean, you know, this, whatever we want to call that, normally we call it body. I just like to take it out of that frame so that it doesn't go automatically into that sense of I, so that it just gets a sense of far outness.
Yes.
Far outness. I mean, there again, you know, you can talk to scientists or what, but nobody has a clue. Nobody, you know, how come that these cells stick together and do this and make me speak and make me see and hear, and you know, all those beautiful senses. And not being stuck only in that density, but also, gosh, getting a bit of a bigger picture, far out. Until it's over, until it's taking its last breath, and, you know, and then it continues somehow. That's what we see. Yeah. What a miracle it is, huh?
It's a miracle. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
And yeah, but from here, like in this field, everything is wonderful.
Absolutely.
The beauty and the ugly is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's quite far out.
Exactly. Yeah. It's far out. And again, I mean, how lucky we are to share that, huh? To have a conversation like this. Gosh, and not getting locked up.
That's very true. It's not a coffee table conversation. Yeah. Even to have the chance to meet so many beings that have the same interest and same longing, and it's also very special to share this.
Very special. It's worth a lot of tears.
Don't get me started.
No, yes, tears coming from deep, deep, deep down. It's so beautiful.
It's deep gratitude. Deep gratitude. What a miracle it is that we can tap into this in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And even though everything will continue, tapping into this, it changes everything.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Look at all those beautiful smiling faces. Mm. 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 Ah, Sandra is waving goodbye. Mm. Helen.
Hello.
Hello.
Mm. Uh, to be in this conversation and then to have so much pain in my body.
Oh. Mm.
Um,
Mm.
ooh,
That the pain of the broken bones from after the accident? Mm. Mm.
this whole part is really
Mm.
uh,
Yeah.
I could see that I could not really listen to this conversation with Rishi. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much pain in the body, and then it's it
Would you take care?
Yeah, sure. It's
And
very good
rest.
because you told me once, like, okay, if you feel like that, you just you just move away, or you just do what you
Yeah.
want to do.
So glad to hear, Ellen. So glad to hear. Yeah. You know, body has gone through amazing shock. You know, like first broken and then being put all together again. And I mean, it's a miracle how it grows together again. But you know, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
Ah.
Mm. Mm. So like us being together with that is that okay for you? Or?
Yeah, it's softening. Then it gets more soft because before
Okay.
it was really cramping, like.
Okay. Good. Okay. So that's good feedback. So it's softening. Mm. Mm.
I'm a little bit amazed about how this information is coming back, you can say,
Yeah.
about all this pain in the body.
So you had it before, or and then it stopped?
In a way, sometimes it yeah, I had it, of course, when I was going through this all. There was a lot of pain and there was so much cramp in my body all the time just to keep it all together. And I can say after the retreat with Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe because now this falls off my shoulders with Martijn, this cramp in my body and all this pain is coming back so much sometimes, like, phew.
Mm.
And it's okay. I,
Is it, I'm just curious, is
uh,
it the same pain than before, or can you make a distinction? Is it different from how it was before, or is it the same? I'm
I
just curious.
it feels a little bit like before I was more in a shock all the time and holding
Yes,
everything together to get on my feet again and
yes,
working so hard to make my body work again, you can say, like
yes.
after all these operations, just to get my muscles back and,
Yeah, yeah.
and now it feels a little bit like um, this cramp of working is coming out or something like that, maybe. I
Okay,
don't know
fantastic.
exactly. I just feel
I
like,
hear you. Mm, which makes sense. So it's a bit, it's something different in a certain way, but the same areas.
yeah, the same areas. Yeah, it's really
Mm,
this part, and
mm,
sometimes it's my leg, really.
mm.
Yeah, and now this is more the neck and the shoulder part. All this. They broke it again and they had to fix it again. So it's really like, but it's okay. It's so. And then I can see when there's a lot of talk about beauty and then it seems like this part is getting cramping even more in these conversations because maybe it feels left out or something.
It feels left out. Fantastic. I mean, I'm just fantastic. I love how you share. Okay, so let's see how we can include this in a way that it's right for it.
Because it was so heavy.
Yeah, that was definitely heavy.
So it feels a little bit like it wants to get acknowledged, you can say, that it's also really, that it was really heavy.
It went through hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was holding in all the time and being courage to get in life again, to get into the body again. So I think that's why this reaction is so strong when this talking about beauty, and then it feels like it's really cramping a lot. And
it's like, what about me?
Something like that, yeah. Yes.
Totally get it. So it's turn. We are here for it. We're coming back.
Because my body was so cramped.
Say again.
My body was so cramped in this.
Oh. It was a miracle that you survived, Ellen.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that you're still here. I mean, whatever's responsible wanted you to still be here, obviously.
Yes, so I'm very grateful for the strength, you can say, to keep going in all.
Yeah, and also, for the gift that you're bringing now to the body. You're stopping for it. It's asking for attention, and here we are.
My hands were so cramped in this that I really had like hands like this. They were so cramped for the pain. Yeah. It's really nice to speak it. It's like
starts flowing. Yeah. When you were in hospital, your hands were like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. For how long?
For 2 months. Really. And my face was like to bury the pain.
Oh, darling.
Hey.
Yeah.
so that it can soften again, can say. And then I was half a year walking with my arm, what was really, I could not really could move it because the bones were growing wrong, so it was growing on each other, and then they had to break it again and to fix it and to make it right. So it was really half a year that my arm was in a kind of cramp. And then sometimes I think like, okay, but it's gone now, it's over now, but I can feel, oh no, it's not, it still needs attention for a kind of appreciation for, okay, that was really quite a tough ride to walk with it for such a long time and to let it break again, do this heavy operation.
Yeah.
So it was like for all the people who, and for all the soldiers, you can say, and for all the people who went through such a heavy brokenness, with war, and when your body is totally broken, and then to come back in this pain. And wow, man, all this information all the time. And I know we are not the body, but it's included.
Absolutely. It's like, when we say we are not the body, I think we always thought we were only the body. It was very important to find out that we're not only the body.
Yeah.
But it is all included.
Yeah.
So, it's all included.
Yeah.
We can't say we are not the body. We are also the body, but there is something bigger, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
To identify with anything. Yeah, I know, but it's just, I think it's good to say, because there's quite often a huge confusion. It's like to say we are not the body is also a movement away.
Yeah.
It is just the whole shebang here. It's not one or the other. We can't say I'm not the body. It's part of the whole shebang, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
So keep going. Just needed to do that excursion here, because it's so quite a lot of us run around with that I'm not the body,
Yeah.
What? Can't say it like that. Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of stuff in my body. Maybe they're going to put it out.
Did you say they have to
Still,
maybe screws?
Yeah, there's some things in my own, how you say this, you know, to keep it, to keep it
Yes,
together, and maybe within,
plates and
yeah.
scrolls and stuff. Mhm. And they might take it out at one point. Brave heart.
It really gets soft.
The honey flowing.
Yeah. Now, like the honey flow goes to those parts.
Exactly. Mhm. 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 Yeah.
And
Big warm hug and lots of love.
yeah, thank you that I could bring this.
No, thanks for bringing this. There I see again, you know, how each of us brings their unique gift. Precious, precious, precious. Thank you all again for a most beautiful, exquisite meeting. Love and peace. Howie. Thanks for hosting, Eva.